progress, and with God helping us, the National Cathedral is expected to be officially commissioned on March 6, 2024. Upon completion, the National Cathedral will provide a sacred space for formal religious activities of state and symbolize the enormous contribution of faith to nation building.
It is one person's conviction. The president said that he made a pledge to God that if he won the election, he will build a cathedral for him. And so it is his personal pledge. And if he wants to build it, he must gather people who support that conviction to build it. And we were told that public funds were not going to be used for the cathedral. But eventually we found that the Minister of Finance was releasing public taxes. And our taxes are paid by not only Christians, they are paid by Muslims. And so we can't use public funds, including the fund of people of other denominations, to build a cathedral for Christians alone. And so there is a very important issue that we must look at. So far, $58 million of public money has been spent just to dig a deep hole. And you have to ask yourself, is it justified in this day and age when children do not have desks in schools, when children do not have textbooks? For 5 years, we've not provided our basic school children with textbooks, even though we've come out with a new curriculum because we say there's no money. And you say we should use $450 million to build a cathedral. Even God will be angry with us.
Well, welcome back to Key Point on TV3, also live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. And in addition to all the figures mentioned there, the secretary to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral is saying that they need additional $250 million to complete the project. If they get that money, that will be done. I don't know if Parliament will have a say in this. But this week, reason why we're even talking about this is that this week, as you heard the former Finance Minister, Kenneth Oriata, mention that on the 6th of March, this week was supposed to have been the day for the commissioning of the National Cathedral project. But as we speak, it is still at the foundation level. And the reason of interest for this conversation is because of how much has been spent so far. What is the feasibility of it being completed before the end of this administration? And especially because of the origin of the cathedral being the president's promise to God. Will the NDC continue it? If they would not continue the cathedral, then who accounts for the public funds that have been already invested in this cathedral at this foundation level? Certainly, some answers have to be given in the interest of the Ghanaian people. And Sheikh Arimi Al-Shaibu had to leave us to another occasion, a very important one for that matter. He speaks for the National Chief Imam. But Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is still with us. Professor Enokenchi is still with us. The Honorable Andy Apiakubi is still with us. We'll have a couple more people joining us as we go on. But Ablakwa, this week you together with your colleague, minority MPs, Sam George, and then also Jachekwesin, you went to do what has been described as a symbolic commissioning. You had your own ribbons and balloons. What was that for?
Yes, so it's important to emphasize that I'm not aware of any project which will require such a staggering amount of money. And all of us as citizens, particularly in this period of considerable economic crisis, we are desperately at the IMF seeking a bailout. We have been shut out of the financial market. We have been declared insolvent, bankrupt. The sovereign rating agencies have downgraded us to junk status, whether it's Fitch, Moody's, Standard & Poor's. We are all being forced to take financial haircuts. Even pensioner bondholders, you saw senior citizens, what they had to go through, demonstrate, picket the Ministry of Finance before they can have access to their own money they have worked for. The economic crisis is so bad that even bonds, government bonds, which we thought, the literature has always said is risk-free, it's one of the safest investments you can make, it's no longer safe. We have defaulted on our loan obligations as a country. So this is the context that we find ourselves. Mm-hmm. And yet, we have only discovered recently that when the president assured this nation that this is personal pledge to God, mm-hmm. they would not use taxpayer funds. And he told the clergy. So you recall that Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams made a clarion call to the nation, mm-hmm. that all of those who are criticizing the project should desist, that they were not using public funds. They have been assured by the president. Mm-hmm. Viewers can Google that, you'll see it. Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, who until recently was a member of the Board of Trustees. Mm-hmm. We have discovered that unknown to Parliament, without parliamentary approval, a colossal $58.1 million has so far been spent. Now,
$58.1 million has been spent so far.
Has been spent
on
what is now being described as the world's most expensive pit.
$58 million
for the foundation.
Yes, just the foundation.
And where did that money come from? What's the source of that?
If you have any doubt, I have the letter here written to Parliament. Mm-hmm. You know, during the vote of censure hearings, we asked the Minister for Finance that, look, we have intercepted a number of documents you have signed, instructing the Comptroller and Accountant General to release funds mm-hmm. to the National Cathedral Secretariat. Mm-hmm. When we had been told that it's a personal pledge, you are not going to use public funds.
Yes.
So now we want you to write to the committee, the vote of censure committee, mm-hmm. and list all the times you carried out these illegal withdrawals. So the finance minister responded on the 21st of November 2022 and provided this breakdown. So I have here the breakdown of the amount released so far for the National Cathedral project. 7th June 2019, the finance minister authorized the release of $89,000. That's mm-hmm. 445,000 cedis at the time. 5th March 2021,
mm-hmm. 80,525,000.
Yes, 80,525,000. Good, you have a copy.
And this was a payment of consultancy services in respect of the design of the National Cathedral.
The design of the National Cathedral.
The first one was a payment of advanced mobilization for consultation working on the design of the National Cathedral.
Fantastic.
That's 445 million.
Then
445,000.
Then 10 February.
Payment of another
consultancy service. That's 32 million. So David Ajayi alone, the architect, has so far received 113 million. That is $19.6 million. So the $58 million, David Ajayi alone received $19.6 million. And talk to all the industry experts. They say this doesn't happen. This is outside industry practice, where $58 million for a project and the architect alone is getting about 40%. You take 29th October 2021, the finance minister, on our blind side, without parliamentary approval, released another $142.7 million. That was $25 million. And he says, Government of Ghana contribution to the National Cathedral Secretariat to enable commencement of planned activities.
If you say Government of Ghana contribution, that's the Ghanaian people's money.
Yes, Ghanaian people's money, our taxes. When you have told us, and you see, what is even so shocking is that a citizen of Ghana, James Kwabena Bonfe, who I know very well, he contested me in the Nooks presidency. He really gave me a hot chase, from UCC. He came second. He almost defeated me. So I know him very well. His nickname is Kabila.
Yes,
he went to the Supreme Court that, look, this project will open the floodgates. If you say National Cathedral for Christians, soon Muslims will say they also want a national mosque. Soon traditionalists will say they also want a national shrine. So the Supreme Court should declare this project, which in a secular state all of us pay taxes, as you heard former President Mahama saying. How fair is it to take taxes from all of us, including atheists, pagans, traditionalists, and all of that, and you are building for only one? You haven't told us that after the National Cathedral, you will build a national mosque or a national shrine. So the Supreme Court should declare this project unconstitutional. The Attorney General, in his response, says that James Kwabena Bonnfe is not well informed. The President and the clergy have already assured the nation that our taxes will not be used. So his fears are unfounded. And that is how come Kwabena Bonnfe lost the case. It was dismissed. Only for us to discover these documents. And let me continue. The Finance Minister then again tells us that on the 19th of August 2021, he released another 58.2 million.
And this was additional Government of Ghana contribution to the National Cathedral Secretariat for the construction.
When did the people of Ghana tell this Finance Minister that you can take our taxes for this project? He didn't stop there. 31st March 2022, another Government of Ghana contribution for the construction of the National Cathedral. 25 million. That was $3.5 million. And as we speak, 339 million has been sunk into this pit, the world's most expensive pit. That's $58.1 million. And you see, what is even shocking,
and this,
Alfred,
this figure is contained in the document emanating from the Finance Ministry
yes,
to the
vote of censure committee, Parliament of
we'll
Ghana.
Put that page on the screen.
Yes, so these are not figures I am making up, you know, and it was signed by the Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Patrick Nomo, on behalf of the Minister, the Honorable Kanu Furiata, dated 21st November 2022. It says, motion on vote of censure against the Honorable Minister for Finance, request for information. Reference is made to the proceedings of the ad hoc committee on Friday, 18 November 2022, and your letter dated 21st November 2022. The Ministry of Finance writes to forward the underlisted information in fulfillment of the agreement reached during the proceedings. 1. Total amount spent by government on the National Cathedral of Ghana as to date. See Appendix 1. So it is not my own document, or I'm not conjecturing here. Now, Alfred, will you believe that after all of these releases, the contractor, Ribade JV, abandoned site March 14th, 2022, 2 years ago.
Why?
For lack of payment.
Lack of payment? When all these monies
have been released.
So where did the monies go?
That is what triggered my interest in this whole affair. That look, first of all, you are proceeding on deception. Look, if there's any project as Christians, as believers, if there's any project which must meet the high Christian standards of integrity, of purity, holiness, righteousness, lawfulness, it is this project. So when I started intercepting these documents from patriots who say that, look, we are being deceived. So Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, come for all of these documents and go to Parliament and find out what's happening. Then I decided to pursue further, only to discover that on the 14th of March 2022, the contractor, Ribade JV, and Ribade is a joint venture of 3 companies, Rizani Di Echa, Babisoti, and Disimone.
Right.
They have written to all their staff that, look, this project, we are not receiving payments. They owe us so much. So all of you go home. March 14th, 2022. I have that.
You have a copy of that correspondence?
Yes.
To the staff of these 3?
Yes.
That they should go home?
That they should go home.
You have a copy?
Yes, I do. And so for 2 years now, no work has been going on. And you ask yourself, where is all that money? So I decided to follow the money. Then I discovered that another gentleman called Carrie Summers, who says he's a fundraiser. He raises funds.
He's on the cathedral
website. He's presented as a fundraiser and in charge of their U.S. operations. Now, what I know about fundraising for projects of this nature is that if you're a fundraiser, you raise the funds and you are given a commission, a percentage of it as commission. But in the case of Ghana, against best practice, this man is given $6 million to go and raise funds for us. Up to now, he hasn't raised anything.
He was given $60 million for what?
For fundraising, that's what we were told.
Now, what was the $6
in advance?
In advance.
No, but he was not supposed to raise funds.
Yes.
So what was the $6 million?
To go and use to raise funds.
No, to use the money to raise funds.
To raise funds, that he's a consultant for fundraising.
I don't understand that. What do you mean?
Nobody understands it. But what happened is that he was giving our taxes $6 million to go raise funds.
And you got this information from where?
It's here. If you look at the document submitted to Parliament by the
so
National
this is in the
Cathedral.
document
Yes.
submitted to Parliament?
Submitted to Parliament.
By who?
By the National Cathedral Secretariat.
That they gave
$6 million to the CEO of the Nehemiah Group. And that's Carrie Summers. And remember, I followed up. I've gone to the United States of America and I've gone to discover that he's really no CEO of Nehemiah Group. He's selling coffee in some ramshackle warehouse and hasn't raised a dime for us.
He's selling coffee?
Yes, in a ramshackle warehouse, Carrie Summers.
You said ramshackle.
Yes, I went there. I went to Missouri.
I think I saw a picture.
Yes.
But was he the one at the
Yes,
back?
he's the one. Yes, he came out. Yes, I saw him. Look.
And you
the things
confirmed
that
that
have
he's
happened,
selling coffee?
yes, yes, selling coffee in the ramshackle warehouse.
I see.
This is somebody who is supposed to be raising funds for us, and it doesn't happen anywhere. If the claims he's making, he really has those international contacts and the network to raise the funds, he should bring the money and you give him a percentage. That is what happens. That's the best practice. And for a country under such considerable economic crisis, throwing money away like that. So are you therefore surprised that after all of this investment, remember when Bishop Dakiwad Mills was resigning, he wrote in his letter, at the time, $30 million had been spent. And he said it didn't sit well in his conscience for $30 million to be spent. And all he sees is a pit. That is why he resigned. Then I also decided that, look, yes, you've breached the Constitution. You have not come for parliamentary approval. How about our procurement laws? So I raised an RTI request, a right to information request, on the 4th of July 2022 to the Public Procurement Authority to find out if they know about the National Cathedral project and if they have granted approval. And then I also decided to ask what kind of procurement method was used. Is it single source, sole source? Was it a competitive process? So a 2-page RTI request, which I signed on the 4th of July 2022. By the next day, 5th July 2022, the PPA responds because it was just an easy thing for them to do. And I was shocked at the response. Alfred, listen to the PPA. This is signed by the Chief Executive of the Public Procurement Authority, Mr. Fragmente. And he says, reference is made to your RTI request of 4th July 2022 on the subject above. Please be informed that the Public Procurement Authority holds no information relating to the construction of the National Cathedral by Rebade Company Limited. You may wish to refer your inquiry to the National Cathedral Secretary.
And this you are reading from where? What document is this?
This is from
the Public Procurement Authority.
A response to my RTI request from the Public Procurement Authority.
Okay.
Incredible. Unbelievable. A $450 million project. And the PPA has no information.
They said they don't have any information.
They say they have no information on it. They have absolutely no information that I should go to National Cathedral Secretariat. I mean, are we in some banana republic? Is it some jungle? And we say we are building for God, the Almighty. The God who stopped David from building for him because he said that David was not pure at the time. And this is what we are doing. So I decided to look further into this project. Then I discovered that, look, we will even be wrong if we thought that it's only $58 million we have spent so far. I found out that apparently, on everybody's blind side, so many demolitions have happened.
Not to interrupt you, but this is the current state of the National Cathedral.
Yes,
that's how it looks like.
Yes,
we got the
$58.1 million.
An aerial image of it.
Yes,
this is what.
This is what we have done with $58.1 million. Recently, I saw in the news that if we got 56 million euros, we can have a very modern La General hospital. You know, after the demolition of La General, so we will have a very huge, modern, well-equipped La General hospital. But this is what we have for $58 million. But it's not surprising because the contractor says he was not receiving payment, so he abandoned the project. Kari Summers is keeping $6 million out of this $58 million. David Ajayi took $19.6 million. So monies were not going to the core mandate, the core responsibility.
Of building.
Of building. So it is not surprising. Now, I was going to make the point about the other financial obligations that have arisen because of the model that was adopted, which I call a reckless model.
Why?
So, if you recall, Bishop Dakeward Mills said in his resignation letter that when the president met them, the president said he already had his architect, he already has decided on the location. So the board of trustees, the pastors, the eminent clergy, didn't have a hand in the location. So I probed further, and I discovered that there have been so many demolitions on everybody's blind side. Guess what? As we speak, the Malian ambassador's residence has been demolished.
The Malian
ambassador's residence, it was in that enclave. It's been demolished. The last time I engaged the Malians, they have been promised land at airport residential. And we will have to build for them. You know the cost of land at airport residential.
Absolutely.
That is not part of the $58 million. Then there is the passport head office, which was also demolished. As ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I know that it has cost us 10 million cedis to build a new one for them near GIJ.
Yes.
That is not part of the $58 million. Then Scholarship Secretariat has also been demolished. And look at the rich history. I'm glad there's an academic here. The number of, look, elsewhere that building will be so preserved because of people like Kofi Annan, Professor Mills, and all of these people who have gone through there with scholarship, packages. It will have been preserved. It's been demolished. They are not lucky to get a replacement, so there's no replacement. Then let me bring you to Judges' Bungalows. Do you know that Judges' Bungalows there? In the process, a very respected appeal court judge, he was so upset how he was just hurriedly told to leave, that the president has seen a vision. God has spoken to him that he must be in Accra. So everybody must move away from that location. He resigned. Justice Said resigned because of that.
Because of this?
Because, yes. The way and manner he was asked to evacuate.
How many of those judges' bungalows were demolished?
More than 20, I'm told. More than 20. And in the process, you know that these judges' bungalows, when Speaker Bagbin was Works and Housing Minister, not too long ago, they were constructed. So new buildings, in great condition. Do you know that it has cost us money to take care of the temporary relocation of the judges in some apartments which, for security reasons, we have to protect our judges. I cannot reveal the address.
In a prime area.
Prime area.
Which
and then we are now building new bungalows for the judges. All of this cost is not part of the $58 million. Then let me come to the Judicial Training Institute. Ghana had a Judicial Training Institute where, lawyers, juries come for capacity building, particularly in the Commonwealth. Very, respected edifice, and a whole, people like the respected Sir Dennis, yes. Very eminent, jurist, has been facilitated there for many, many years. The Judicial Training Institute was demolished. As we speak, the judiciary has put together a budget. Do you know how much they need to replace to build a new Judicial Training Institute?
How much?
$50 million.
$50 million?
$50 million.
And this is separate from
the $58 million. Then there is a company called Waterstone Realty Apartment Complex. They had a luxury apartment complex they were creating jobs for the youth and all of that. It was also demolished. They are in court seeking compensation. Then there is another private firm called the Comsys IT firm. Comsys,
yes, that's a
very well-known
Comsys.
Their headquarters was also demolished. Comsys is now being relocated around Labone. You know the cost of land at Labone. That is not all. Bungalows belonging to Shraj were also demolished.
At that same location?
That same location. Look, that location is such a prime location. And you wonder, look, couldn't we have sited this project at a green field, even on the outskirts? Look, for many years we have complained about the congestion in the Central Business District. When there is one program at the Accra International Conference Center, the whole place is choked. It becomes even a security risk. We can't even go to Parliament. The last time there was a call to the bar, I mean, you couldn't move. We've been talking about decongesting the Central Business District and that enclave for years. So even if we come to an agreement as a nation that we should do such a project, and I'm not sure we'll have even agreed that it should be at such a cost, over $450 million. So this $58.1 million has to be put in the right context, that it has come with so many hidden costs. Now, let me also come to the agreement.
Because I recall that the lands minister was in Parliament, I think last year or so,
yes,
indicated that all these persons who were affected by the demolition for this construction of National Cathedral have been compensated.
That is...
He said this before you.
Yes, he said that, and we challenged him. It's not accurate. He is aware of the pending suit by Waterstone Realty.
That's about for some $5 million?
Yes, they're demanding $5 million. And then if you take the Scholarship Secretariat, they have not been compensated. If you take the Judiciary, the Judicial Training Institute, they haven't... And
they need $50 million?
They need $50 million. I saw what former Chief Justice Eni Yeboah put together. $50 million. And they are now moving from, they've gone to ECOWAS Bank for Reconstruction, gone to World Bank, trying to see if they can get some external funding support for this project. Now, Alfred, I must also point to you that if you look at the 13-point demand we made at the media engagement, one of the things that we have drawn attention to is how bad the contract is. I have a copy here. And 2 years on, after the contractor left site, we are incurring costs as a nation, if you look at the contract. Because there are provisions like standing time claims. So as you ask the contractor to hold on, you are not paying the contractor. Cost is being incurred. There's another contractual provision here known as extension of time claims and cost implication of same. So you promise and you agree with the contractor that you will carry out your obligation, you release funds, you pay them, and you commission this project on the 6th of March this year. That is why we had to carry out that action, because it's a significant day. That's the day you told Parliament, you told the Ghanaian people, and you told God that you commission it. As you haven't met this timeline, and there is an extension, it comes at a cost if you look at the contract. Then there's another provision here called the abortive and reworks costs due to main contractor suspension. We are also going to pay for that. It's such a bad contract. That is why we are saying that this contract should be abrogated.
That is, if this project is aborted, the contractor will have to be paid.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you would understand why the contractor will put that clause in there.
So we are saying that, look, why are we still incurring costs when you can sit with all the parties and terminate? Look, there is no way. The Cathedral Board, I heard Reverend Kusi Boateng, and I'm surprised that, after all of these double identity matters, he's still out there.
This matter is still in court,
No, the Human Rights Court has determined it's clear that, he has questions to answer. The judge said he didn't even know, she didn't even know who was before her, whether it's Kusi Boateng or Edu Jemfi.
He says that they need extra $250 million.
Look, that is why, if you look at the 13 demands we made on the president, we are saying that the Board of Trustees, the remnants, those who are left on the board, we know that Bishop Darkeward Mills has resigned, Pastor Otabil has left, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams has resigned, Reverend Sud Anaba has resigned. We are saying that those who are left, the board should be dissolved. We are also saying that the National Cathedral Secretariat should be shut down. Look, we attach the structure of the National Cathedral Secretariat to the media, and your people can put it up. It is such a tax guzzler. a very humongous bureaucracy, which is costing us so much. Already, if you look at the documents Ken Ofori-Atta brought to Parliament, they have released 225 million to this secretariat. It's such a tax guzzler.
The National Secretariat.
They have board of trustees.
We have a page on that. Let's put that on the screen.
They have board of trustees. Then you have the board secretary. You have the executive director. Then you have consultants, one of whom is Carrie Summers, keeping at $6 million. You have secretary. Then you have those in charge of operations.
This is the page you are making reference.
That is the breakdown of the cost.
Of the cost.
This is the organogram.
Yes. I'm speaking to the organogram.
I want to confirm that indeed 225 million has already been.
Yes, to the National Cathedral Secretary.
Let's go up a bit. Yeah, let's go up a bit. I think that
225 million. You see it?
Is down there.
Yes. Given to the National Cathedral Secretariat. That's it. You see it there, 225. When you add those three releases to them, it's 225 million. So I'm back to the organogram. So you have people in charge of operations, construct, admin and finance, revenue mobilization, cathedral church affairs, museums and gardens, communications. Then there's an office manager. You have a secretarial staff. You have volunteers. You have interns. Then you have national service personnel. This secretariat is quite elaborate, isn't it? And we are saying that, why should we keep paying these people every month? 2 years now, no work is going on. Why should we keep incurring this cost? And we say we are broke. Because of that, we are allowing some foreigners to be, intimidating us. We can't even pass our own laws and have our peace of mind. Because we say we are desperate for money. And yet, look at our conduct. Look at how we are wasting money. So that's the one of the demands. The other demand we have made is that so far, government hasn't told us the total cost of compensation. All these people who they've demolished their properties and they are compensated, they haven't finished though. We want to know the cost so we can add it to the $58.1 million. We are also saying that if you look at the people who are keeping these sums of money, there ought to be retrievals. Look, this project is clearly dead. David Ajayi should return our $19.6 million. Carrie Summers should return our $6 million. Reverend Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu-Jemfi should return our $2.6 million Ghana cedis. We are making that demand strongly. Then we are also saying that on the 24th of January 2023, the National Cathedral Board of Trustees issued a statement that they have invited Deloitte, because of all the scandals associated with this project, they've invited Deloitte to audit the account. We are saying, where is that audit report? It's been more than a year. And
that audit report has not been made public?
It's not been made public.
It has not been submitted to you?
Except Bryce Simmons of Imani, who recently told us that it is such a damning report. And
so the audit has been done?
And that, yes, from what Imani is saying, that they have some intelligence that is been done but is damning, and that's why it's not being published. We are urging the Board of Trustees to keep their promise. They promised us in their 24th January 2023 statement that they will make the audit report public. They should publish that report. We are also appealing to Shraj. You know that on the 16th of January last year, I petitioned Shraj on the conflict of interest aspect of this whole National Cathedral brouhaha. That petition, Shraj has only dealt with the preliminary case where, Ken Ofori-Atta, Kusi Boateng, Edu-Jemfi, they raised a preliminary objection, which they lost. Shraj dismissed it. But the substantive matter, we are still waiting for Shraj, and we appeal to Shraj to expedite action. We are also saying that our colleagues on the MPP side, you remember that I filed a motion, the Speaker admitted it, we debated the motion as a House, nobody raised an objection. We passed a resolution that we should probe the matter. We should have a bipartisan parliamentary probe. What is left is for our colleagues on the MPP side to submit the names of their members who serve on the committee. They have not done that for 6 months now. We have submitted our names to the Speaker.
Because I was just going to come to that, because you've been consistent on this exposés on your own as a citizen and also a member of Parliament. But then again, you belong to a house that is supposed to ensure accountability and checks and balances on the executive. Now, so after all of these exposés and the advocacy that you've been on, Parliament, what is Parliament doing to get some accountability and some answers on behalf of the Ghanaian people, if indeed the audit has been done? Why can't Parliament get it to be made public?
So the only way forward is for this parliamentary probe to commence. And there's enormous public interest in this matter. We are there to serve the Ghanaian people. We cannot derelict. We cannot abdicate. We have debated this motion. Everybody in the House, both sides of the House, agreed that this is a very relevant matter. It borders on protecting the national purse. Nobody raised an objection. We passed a resolution that we will have the inquiry. Then suddenly, feet dragging. Our colleagues are not presenting their names. Every Friday after the reading of the business statement, I rise up to remind the majority leader that they cannot continue to stonewall, to put impediments in the way of the Ghanaian people. So I am hoping, because look, the last time I made a submission on the floor that, look, if you look at referrals to committees, you check with the clerk at table, there have been about 700 referrals to committees that are yet to receive action. And I said that, look, we are not covering ourselves in glory as a house.
Right.
So we must chart a new path.
All right.
I also reminded the House that if you look at what happened in Parliament in 2013, when our colleagues on the MPP side decided that they would not vet President Mahama's ministers because there's a pending challenge of the election results at the Supreme Court. And so they didn't want to give President Mahama that legitimacy. They boycotted every matter in Parliament that relates to him or a referral from him. So his ministers, they didn't participate on the appointments committee.
Okay.
We went ahead. It was a one-sided house because parliamentary boycotts are part of democratic tools in the toolkit, which can be used. So I am urging the House that if our colleagues will not submit their names to serve on the committee, there are members who should serve on the committee, we should go ahead. Nothing stops us under our standing orders under the Constitution of Ghana to have one side doing its work. But what would be such a travesty is if Parliament abdicates in this matter and we do not take on this oversight duty. Then finally, we are also saying that it's important for the prosecuting agencies to bring a case of causing financial loss to the state. People who are keeping all these fantastic sums of money should not be allowed. I mean, look. So you're
going to bring a case of causing financial loss to the state? I
have a copy of our annual public debt report. You will see here, sometimes we go for loans, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. And yet, Carrie Summers is keeping $6 million. Look at the brouhaha in Parliament yesterday. It was, you know the amount? It was over $300 million. That's what we were so desperately, fighting for. $300 million loan yesterday. This cathedral is going to cost us $450 million. It started at $100 million. You've heard Reverend Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu-Jemfi say that they need $250 million more.
Yes.
So we cannot continue to just be dissipating scarce resources. It's not as if we have the money. It's not as if we are in a good place economically.
So let me
as I conclude, I also think that you in the media should help us have a national debate on even what we should do with that pit.
Well, so that's a question I was going to, because in the end, you see, that pit has been created. The foundation has been created. Money has been sunk in there. You're saying that you're going to demand some action be taken with regards to causing financial loss to the state. It clearly indicates that the NDC is not interested in building this cathedral. It's not going to happen. Assuming that you win 2024, you're not going to continue this project.
Look, I agree with the TUC. I agree with Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams and Reverend Sudandaba, who have said that, look, in principle, even though they are for a cathedral, they think it can be scaled down, even if it should be built. My view is that let's have a national debate. The TUC is proposing a hospital. I have received petitions from citizens who say that Ghana lacks a proper children's hospital, a modern pediatric center, that let us consider that. I think that all of these proposals are in the right direction.
Okay.
And at a much lower, cost. We can have something more beneficial that will be more pleasing to God than what we are doing on a foundation of deception, wrongdoing, and lack of transparency.